Okay, welcome back, everybody. Yes, be careful of the microphone up here. We decided it might be nice for the audience to be able to hear what's going on. A later thought, you know. Oh, illumination, tastes good. So, do you have any thoughts? Do you have 2 minutes worth of questions? Have you been observing your fellow human beings at lunch? There is some mapping going on, yeah. Some mapping. Heidi's going to...
give another, because it's a lovely compilation. Just pass those around if you would.
It's cold in here, isn't it? Okay, yes, question? Question? Yes. Yes, thank you. You have discovered? You split in the face. To use it, then to use the split and the heating work. Okay? Well, why not? Whatever we're born with and whatever we notice, we can correct and utilize. He says, study your chart so that you can learn how to offset certain energies. Yeah. Yes. Went with it instead. Yes, that sounds good. Two souls together, I need a mic. Oh, never mind. If they can't come out with what they need to say? Uh-huh. Okay, well, we can discuss that. You have the rapport, apparently, so that's very good. Yes. Well, we use who we are. We are the instrument, that's for sure. All right, everybody, I think, are we ready to go on into Virgo after lunch? Virgo rules food in many ways, and a discriminating approach to food in many ways. All right, we're ready to go? Individuals with Virgo energy. Here we go. Okay.
Okay, Virgo.
We have time.
Widow's peak on top of forehead. And, you know, with our bangs, it's sometimes hard to see, but it's there. And we will explain why I have it, even though I'm not a Virgo. Hair, less likely to be blonde. Neat, compact, well-chiseled features. Sometimes they're sharp. Sometimes they're almost like the Gemini, the sharpness. But for the most part, they tend to be, you know, regular, retiring or evasive eyes. They're less prominent. They're modest. Virgo is, you know, one of the most modest signs. What do we mean by eyes being modest? Hopefully we can see that in some people. A sharp nose at times. Again, we see the relationship here to Gemini, with which to pick at things. A bird-like look. In some cases, the tip of the nose is compact and close to the lip, which means that the distance between the tip of the nose and the lip, the upper lip here, is rather short. No, it's rather long.
Yeah.
Wrong, sorry. Pursed lips. Somebody asked about this just earlier, about the lips being, you know, as if you're going to go give a kiss.
Yeah, and also, you know, they're trying to decide or discriminate. They purse their lips as if to decide.
And thin lips. And I've really seen this, thin lips in Virgos. Lines around cheeks and lips, right in here, you know.
Right above.
And here.
Yeah, especially here.
Weaker teeth, maybe a tooth or two that it might be a little crooked in that respect. and not regularly spaced. So we've kind of been looking at people with Virgo, and we kind of see that. Sometimes they're bunched together.
Yep.
I don't know the whys of it, but that is just an is. Shoulders thin, boned, and square. Fingernails sometimes shortened with moons covered. This is interesting. Big toes point inward on an angle. Is this like where they get the bunion and the toes go in? Mm-hmm. Could have one leg shorter than another.
That's the legend. That's the story of Vulcan, who is the ruler of Virgo, and he does have one leg. He limps. He's the limping god. Yes.
Okay, well, look how beautiful her features are, and look at this. Look at the upper lip, the nice space on the upper lip between the nose and her lip.
And the nose is particularly Virgoan. This
Yeah.
is a perfect example of it.
Yeah,
Of course, maybe she's done something to her eyebrows, perhaps.
yeah.
Can you look up
Perfect
Greta
Virgo
Garbo? quick?
nose.
No?
What about the eyelids?
Well,
Is that a Virgo or another?
I'm not sure it's anything particular.
yeah. Now, you see, she's got a combination here of Gemini and Virgo, and we saw that there was a really tight relationship there in some of the features. So sometimes it's not that easy to discern. Now,
I'm just trying to look up some of these people that you got. Keep
Mother
going.
Teresa with her sun in Virgo, but it's, you know, she also has the Gemini qualities to her.
See,
but
look
there's
at the
other
lines
things.
around the mouth.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right here. They do funny things with their mouth, and they get dimples in their chin that keep moving.
Uh-huh.
This is very important. When you see those dimples in the chin just move around, this is a Virgoan trait.
So here we see the retiring or evasive eyes.
Okay, okay. Let's see. I'm doing Google.
Elizabeth I. There's a skull-like look of the head. That really
That's Capricorn.
is more Capricorn.
Yeah,
She's got
that's Capricorn.
Capricorn rising. But, you know, you kind of have to pull out what you see.
And she's got the bony Capricorn nose
Yeah,
and the tall forehead,
yeah. So
but
she's
the mouth is more compact, Virgo-like.
Yeah.
Depends on the decanate.
And the distance between the mouth and the nose, she's got that long.
That long upper lip, yeah.
That's right. Let's see.
What would you say about the chin for Virgo? Anything specific?
It retires.
It retires.
It retires. The Virgo chin is not usually pronounced. There are 3 or 4 signs that retire the chin. Sagittarius the most, Virgo, Cancer, and Pisces.
So
Retire the chin.
So unlike Gemini, that tends to have the jutting out chin, in Virgo, it goes,
It tends to retire unless it should be in the Capricorn decanate.
okay.
Greta
So,
Garbo.
elephant forehead. What do we mean by that?
Big one.
There you go.
It almost is even bigger.
If you could see the face, you would see that that is the most prominent part of her face, is her forehead. It's the widest part of her face. The rest of it it narrows down almost, you know, it's just not as pronounced as her forehead. Oh, this is Grandma Moses. She was an artist, an American artist, and there is some of her work. You can see the detail with which she did her art. Very Virgo-like, you see? So much detail.
Tiny little figures. She had Capricorn rising. She lived a long time.
Thin lips, that's another Virgo quality.
Yeah.
She has, are the ears, the Capricornian ears? The lobes, I don't know about that, but
No, yeah, why do we say that? Capricorn can make the
she
lobes
has,
smaller.
she has Capricorn rising.
Yeah, it can make the lobes smaller,
Well,
but
she's got big,
not bigger.
She's got bigger ones.
Yeah. I can look up Grandma Moses too. She have a chart for everybody.
Okay, Sun Virgo for Richard Gere. Elephant-like in the sense of, you see all those lines on his forehead?
4th ray.
Retiring, less prominent eyes. But they're not your Scorpio eyes that have a particular deep-set, intense gaze. His gaze is really not all that intense. There's actually a softness to his eyes.
2nd ray guy.
Yeah, you see that here, that gentle, there's a gentleness to the eyes.
Virgo makes the eyes smaller.
Okay,
I want to find Richard Gere now.
that's it for Virgo.
Oh, it's so interesting.
Virgoans, would you like to come to the front? And even if you don't like to come, please come.
Okay, Mom.
Whatever you have in Virgo there.
Now, we talked about the widow's peak. To me, this was a real puzzle. I don't have a Virgo in any prominent area, but I have a widow's peak, and I have quite a pronounced one. So Michael pointed out to me that my sun is, I've got 5 planets in Libra, and so its ruling planet is Venus, and Venus is in Virgo. You see how...
That's very important. Very, very important. Oh, Richard Gere. Cancer ascendant. Do you see the way the eyes go down like that at the corners?
Well, it was up there, Cancer
Yeah,
ascendant.
he has a Cancer. Was it up there, the Cancer ascendant? I didn't see
It's got
that.
to be on the other side of the room.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we need you here.
All right.
These are our Virgo people.
Okay. Look at the space between, now, it's not true in your case, Roxanne, but for Keith, for you, Karen, for the space between the bottom of the nose and the top of the lip, this part of the nose here, is strong. Here you have the squaring of the shoulders. Also, Leo broadens the shoulders, Virgo squares them. Here is the sharp nose. What else do you have rising?
Aquarius.
Aquarius, yes. Your hair is naturally wavy. Yes. Okay. The two signs in which there is quite a bit of electrical or wavy activity in the hair is Taurus and Virgo, and occasionally Taurus and Aquarius. And sometimes you find when you've got Bernice's hair, one of the constellations related to Virgo, the hair sticks way out. You have the moon and Mars. Yes. There's a little bit of the compression there around the mouth, and the nose shows it. Here, I won't use the laser. Okay?
My hair goes like this.
Oh, it does?
So I'm all the time I have to have like that.
Okay, well, Bernice's hair, you know, she sacrificed her hair to get her husband back from the war, and you do see that with some Virgos. Now, Keith has the wild hair look, but I think he has you two have sort of the Virgo chin together, yes, and sometimes you see in the teeth, with Leo you get big strong teeth, okay, with Virgo maybe not so much, and sometimes the teeth rotate a little bit, and you'll see that. As far as the fangs go, what are they, bicuspid? Well, you know, we came out of the animal kingdom, you know, so, or to a certain extent they resemble us. In a way, we are the macrocosm to their microcosm. So we have that. You have the strong Gemini chin. He has the Gemini chin, but the tip of the nose here is with the Pluto effect in Leo.
Michael, tell us about the fangs.
Generally speaking, the crowding together of the teeth that was sometimes pronounced cuspids can be found. But I'm also wondering whether they can be found in...
Mine are all natural.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not straight.
Yeah, okay, no, yeah, you have some... That's right, because the mouth area tends to be smaller with Virgo. They don't like to eat everything, you know what I mean? With Cancer, it's wide because they eat everything. But Virgo's discriminating, so the teeth get pressed together. Okay, well, I see a lot of Aquarius with you, see, that's the thing. But the sharpness of the nose, I see. What day are you born in, Virgo?
21st of September.
Okay, you're right at the end, aren't you? He's at the end of Virgo, so what decade is he in? And what is that? And how's his hair? He's Aquarius and Taurus. He's got all these waves going on in his hair. Okay, so you are a sun in Virgo, but in the Taurus decanate, correct?
It's 23 degrees.
Is that the Taurus decanate, 23 degrees of Virgo? Okay, so the broadening, she has this lion-like mask, I think, from the Leo rising, and I think that she's in the Taurus decanate of Virgo, which broadens the nose at the end. Also, perhaps the chin is not as prominent as otherwise it might be, but you really have a very lion-like mask on the face here. So, you know, we have that whole issue. I think you're going to enjoy being Leo again, I really do. She has been retired into being a Cancer rising for so long, you know, And it's like a new birth. All right, anyway, something to try out. Okay, and you have Virgo and Scorpio, don't you? Right, okay. And I think around the mouth we see that. Where do you have, yeah, you have Scorpio. The nose shows Scorpio, I think. We'll get into that. It's somewhat aquiline. Do you have any Leo at all? Maybe not. Yeah, but around the mouth are these particular Virgo lines. When people are trying to decide something in Virgo, they can't quite, you see them thinking it over with their mouth. Shall I eat this, shall I not? So that's how these lines begin to occur. Some of you have the long space here between your nose and your bottom lip. But the chins are Virgo chins here, by and large. Although here Gemini is involved, and you have Sagittarius too, don't you? Jupiter and Sag. Jupiter and Sag, yeah, and that works for you and also. And so now Roxanne, in this case, does not have this wide space between, so that must be another modification. But she'll have a lot of Sagittarius characteristics, tall forehead with the hint of the widow's peak there as well. The real ones who look like the Munsters are Scorpios. Remember the Munsters? How they all have that thing going down there like that, That's really, you have that? Are you a Munster? Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's really sharp widow's peak, and that's found oftentimes with Scorpio. Yes. Let's see, so it's the sun in Scorpio or Virgo, sun in Virgo, and you have sun in Virgo also? No. Rising Virgo. Where's Mercury? Okay, well, because you have a scorpionic look. So the ruling planet of her rising sign is in Scorpio. See, so that ties Scorpio and Virgo together, and she has a strong scorpionic look. Yeah. Okay. We're looking for triangulated foreheads here. The diamond shapes come in under Capricorn and Cancer. So when you see the diamond shape like that, see, sometimes Cancer and Capricorn will bring the forehead in. But Virgo genuinely expands it. Okay, and you have Mars in Scorpio. Okay, well, you have a benevolent look this today. Okay, let's see. Around the eyes, the eyes can retire a little bit with Virgo. With Leo and Taurus, they're right out there, and you have a little bit of that, a modesty in the eyes. Yes, and the nose has that Virgo look. In other words, of course, one of the, was it Gerard Depardieu? Maybe we'll have a picture of him or something. Do we have a picture of him? Okay, we'll get to that a little bit later. So everything seems to be strongly modified, but now the interesting thing here, she's got so much Scorpio that the chin does not retire, because Scorpio brings the chin right out. The strong chin signs are particularly Gemini, Capricorn, Scorpio, and a little bit of Leo. Okay, a little bit of Leo. But Sagittarius can modify everything. Okay.
I had those bumps on my forehead when they said the
Yeah. The bumps on the forehead. Yes, from a phrenological angle, that's very interesting. Yeah. This is the concrete area of the forehead. This is concrete fifth ray area. This is the more Jupiter and even a third ray area of the forehead. This is abstraction up here. This is concretion here. So the forehead divides into two parts. So you see some of these people like Darwin with those overhanging brows. He's really looking at concrete things. Some of the abstract thinkers, it goes way up under the Jupiter influence. Actually, you have a nice kind of combination of Leo and Virgo, don't you? Yeah, I mean, because the forehead,
One thing I noticed is that the wrinkles of your head will be up here different.
Yeah, different wrinkles, yes. By the way, look at this thumb, how it sticks out. This is a Leo characteristic. It ties in with extraversion. When the thumb, yeah, she's got it too. So when the thumb, yeah, right, Saturn and your ascendant bent your thumb back. Okay, but by the way, I have a feeling that the tips of your fingers come up at the end. This is Leo. The tips of the fingers are slightly rising, okay? Okay, so you can see that, just the tips, that's what rises. Hail. Look, everything modifies everything else. This is a big soup, you know what I mean? This is a stew. We get all this stuff together, and we wonder how many factors there are that are really contributing. Everything makes its own combination. you do have a combination of broad and square shoulders at the same time. With you, it's a little bit more subtle, but you sure have that space between the tip of your nose and your lip. And that's the discrimination. In other words, when it's lower down, there's not so much discrimination. When it's here, it relates to the choosiness of Virgo, this wide space here. All right, there's probably more to say. You have a modest look. Yes. Yes. Wait. What does Mercury have?
Virgos have problems with this movement. Can you just show me that it's
Not true.
not the whole arm, but this part?
Mm-hmm.
So keep this.
Another thing about, I'm not sure, but maybe, that could be studied. I want to say this, Virgos walk with their hands by their side. Isn't it so? Whereas the Gemini and other types, they use their hands expressively, Virgos often keep their hands down. River dance is a perfect example, Yeah, Virgo country, Ireland, also Pisces feet, hands and feet down. Their feet do touch the ground, yes. All right. What is the rising sign? Sag? No. Virgo. Virgo is the rising sign. We're going to see some good Sagittarian jaws, and you have one. Yeah, you do.
I don't have a chin though for either Sagittarius or Virgo.
No, there's a modification there. But you do have an interesting nose, and well, we can't have everything. And what degree of Virgo is rising?
28.
It's Taurus, isn't it? And there's peculiar things happening with Taurus at the tip of the nose. I wish my son were here. He has one of those things where the nose seems to be going down and suddenly it goes up. And you have a bit of that. But you have a narrow space here, so we have to analyze that and see what that means, right?
Yeah.
And where's your moon?
Libra.
Oh, and you have that. Yeah, you definitely have that. Yeah, definitely Libra. And let's see, so it's Sun Sag in what decade?
The Aries decade.
Okay, and Virgo rising in the Taurus decade. You have that in the eyes, you can see that. And yeah, and what about, well, look, if we were doing this right, we would take your chart and take your face and go from point to point to point to point, take a couple of hours, and really we could see where everything seems to derive from or how it correlates. So I feel a little frustrated because I don't have your entire charts in front of me, but you certainly have that nice tall forehead that goes with the Virgo, absolutely.
Michael, what about the jawline? Is that something specific for
Yeah,
Virgo?
for not so much for Virgo that I know about.
Okay.
The jawline is specific for Libra and for Sagittarius, the horse jaw. Have you ever seen the horses, how they have this muscular thing, right? Look at Brad Pitt, right? Sagittarius guy, right? Angela Jolie has it's the Libran and Sagittarius influence right here with the squaring of this. And probably they can be differentiated. There's also a Sagittarian chin, which seems to drop down. It doesn't stick out, it drops down. And Abraham Lincoln has that, and some others, I've noticed that. I can't quite describe it. We need a book where we can describe all these things, and show the pictures and the animations and the rest. But it doesn't always, the chin doesn't always recede in Sagittarius, not always. And sometimes, we'll show the Lincoln, some of those Lincoln pictures where you see how it just falls down. It's not out, it's down. And the horse has the same, well, horses have horse lines, and we look for that. We better move on. Onward. You got the earlobes. Exactly, thank you. River dance, marvelous. Aries something, maybe? Tough to go up there.
Okay, Libra. Well, Libra, being in the middle, is going to have a little bit of in the middle. It's going to not be anything overly prominent or anything too receding. So it's going to be fairly well proportioned. Often good looking, many movie stars with Libra rising. It's one of the hard ones to discern, Libra, because of its middleness. Prominent central vein in forehead, forehead lines pronounced, and many of them, sometimes. Oval face, eyes light colored, clear, cold, almond shaped, long eyelashes,
Those two especially.
and likes to wink with the eyes. Straight nose, a mouth that's bowed, like tying up, no, like the bow, this kind of a bow, right? That kind of a bow.
Okay, bow.
Much smiling, melodious laughter, and often quite a bit of it. Square back of the jaw, often only one dimple in the cheek. Hourglass figure,
Thin waist.
used to have. Rounded hips, no. Gracious, graceful Venusian walk, physically magnetic, slender calves. Now this is an interesting one, androgyny, and not being able to tell, you know, that the male looks very pretty and the female looks pretty handsome, you know. It's like a combination of both almost, or one or the other, so it's like reversed. So like we have here pleasantly feminine men and pleasantly masculine women. Okay, Sun in Libra. So she's got a very smiling face. Forehead lines are pronounced. Oval face. Is there anything else here? She's got wavy hair. That doesn't fit any of that stuff.
No,
so-
but boy, she's so Sagittarian, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got the Sagittarian mouth,
And
right?
yeah, overbite
Yeah.
and receding jaw,
Right.
receding chin. And here, but around the eyes of that beautiful Libran look. And a lot of second ray, of
Mm-hmm.
course. Very Cancerian thick lips here in the beginning.
Right.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, he's got double Libra, and we see the smiles. It's got a very welcoming face, you know, very warm, welcoming face. Light-colored eyes, a straight nose.
And Moon in Scorpio.
Do you see the Scorpio?
Well,
Not really.
you hear it when he speaks. You know, he's got a sting.
And aside from all of this, he was known as the peacemaker, right? He was
Exactly.
always the mediator with all that strong Libra.
Bill Clinton and this fellow.
Right,
With strong Libra, and Gandhi too.
yeah. Okay, the Dalai Lama has been almost everywhere now.
The marvelous smile there.
Yeah.
This Libra thing.
Forehead lines pronounced.
Here you see the simian area around the mouth, which comes with his Gemini ruling planet, and the bow. This is a very Libran look here. Of course, some people say, look, we don't really have the, there's some crowding of the teeth here. He's got Moon and Virgo.
Moon and Virgo.
And the Moon is important because he's a Cancerian, right? So the Moon is important, but when it's the ruling planet, it's really important.
And again, he also has this space here that's fairly long, which is a very Virgoan quality. You know. Okay.
What is he doing here?
Sun Libra,
Right, right.
the Libran jaw. You talked about that square
There,
lock.
right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I thought in some of his earlier shots there that androgyny, I mean, look at up there. He almost could be a very attractive woman, right? Here.
Exactly.
Very attractive woman.
The ladies thought so. Friends list had Venus in Scorpio, and he was a Libra. So he had a lot of lovers. And then, predictably, he became a priest.
His look really changed later on. He really changed. He ended up with, you know,
A few warts.
Yeah, three moles and whatever. But early on, see how attractive he is. Very, very attractive.
This is so Libran over here too, the sheer harmony
Right.
of the features is what has to be identified. The straight nose, but the nose points down because of the Scorpio. Okay?
Okay, I pulled out a bunch of the, now this one has the Libra sun.
I don't know his chart well enough to...
Another Libra, and look at the lines on the forehead. The jaw, like a square jaw. And she's got that beautiful Libran expression and beautiful face.
She has it, yeah, she has it.
Here, another handsome hunk.
Who is he?
He is,
Vigo Mortensen.
thank you.
I lost it. Who?
Vigo Mortensen.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, it would help to know what the combination would be, of course, you see.
Well, we have here, they're
Ruling planets.
yeah. And of course, look at how beautiful
She has it,
is.
she has it.
And some pictures that I found on the internet really showed the bowing of her lips.
That's good.
Again, you know what, you look at this and it's very hard to discern because, again, the Libra is very, very strong in all of them. More, okay, here you got the bowed mouth.
Perfect.
Look at that. Look at the face.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Beautiful face.
Mm-hmm. And vulnerability of the Pisces, and she has, her jaw shows this. But the jaw is not so much here as it's here.
Back
It's where
there.
you look for it.
Right. And look at the graceful Venusian walk.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Why, may I ask, is it called Venusian?
Venus is the ruler of Libra.
Right.
And so therefore, a sexy walk is Venusian.
No, it's not a sexy walk. It's a graceful walk. It's graceful, it's feminine.
But in a
It
way,
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Does what's her name, Catherine, is that Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Yes.
Does she have Scorpio anywhere?
I don't think
Can
so.
anybody look that up?
I
You
just
can look,
had her
use my
here.
computer.
There she is.
Yeah, but I'm interested in where her Venus is.
Uh-huh.
Um,
She's a very beautiful woman, and by the way, we've seen her dance. She's got slender calves. She doesn't have your typical dancers, exaggerated calves.
You find the more exaggerated calves perhaps with Sagittarius and Aquarius. That's where they tend to become stronger. Okay, where does she have her Venus? Okay. All right.
What decan is her Pisces moon?
28 Pisces, so Scorpio.
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpio definitely, but it should be a ruling planet if possible. Well, okay, that of course, people do change their eyebrows, but this is typical when you have tented eyebrows, if she really does, and I can't tell, but the tented eyebrows go with Scorpio, where they make a, like so.
So all the Libran people,
Libra rising, Sun in Libra? Either Sun or rising sign. Sun or rising sign in Libra. Okay.
I want to tell you, we spent a lot of time with Michael while we were working on this, and he would do this to me. I've never been examined in that way before, from the bottom up,
It's important to look up someone's nose, Yes, well, maybe, Kathy, you're one of those people who has strong masculine and feminine. You have that somehow. Both. You have both quite strong. Here, put your hands on your hips. Let's see who's thin. And then we can talk about how it used to be. And then I think you have it quite strong. Quite strong. The thin waist. This sometimes goes, then the hips go out from there. Everybody's telling me how it used to be. Actually, Annabelle, she has those. Where's your Scorpio?
It's my rising sign.
Oh, you got it. She's got it. See, you can see the glint in the eye. The glint in the eye. Yeah, and just like Clint Eastwood, he wouldn't have had a career without Scorpio rising. You have a little bit of the jaw of the Libran here. You do here. Yeah, you have that nicely. You have where do you have a ruling anything in Virgo at all? Nothing in Virgo. I get upset about that. Okay. The nose sometimes with Libra goes right into the forehead without hitting first and then going up. You've seen some of those old Greek, images where the nose seems to go right up and almost make a line with the forehead. That is, it's not necessarily Roman. It's more, see, the Roman nose sort of comes out and down like that. But the Libran nose can actually hit the forehead and keep going. Yeah, you have a bit of that. You have a bit of that. We have here combinations. That was a good Scorpio look. We have combinations of Scorpio and Libra here. Scorpio Sun, Libra rising, and the same, you have Libra Sun, Scorpio rising. I think you can see it around the eyes, but she has a lot of Sagittarius, so the chin is going to recede a little bit. It's one of the ruling planets. You have Leo, so it's more out there. Karen, I can't tell yet. You're an enigma to me. You have a lot of Virgo, though, don't you? Yes, the Virgo is pronounced. And because your Venus is in Virgo? Or what's in Virgo? Sun? No. Sun is in Virgo. And then Libra is rising. Right, okay. And a little bit of the squaring here, you see. Yes. Annabelle, I can't tell yet. Where's your moon?
Leo.
Yeah, I was going to ask. You feel that? I mean, some things you have to just feel. I mean, when you don't know, you just have to feel. Okay, and you have double Libra, right? And of course, the Leo gives the cheeks, doesn't it? Yes. And there's a bit of the ovalness here. Yes, and altogether a very pleasant person. Yes. And all right, she knows I know her, so okay, it's okay. Okay, and you have, where is your Libra? Sun Libra, okay. Again, not do you have any Virgo at all? Does anybody know for Gloria? She's doing something with her mouth that reminds me of Virgo. She's pursing her lips. She's pursing her lips. Looks like one dimple there. Kind of a hint of a dimple there. Is he? Okay. With Libra, you frequently find one dimple, not two. With Aries and Cancer, you find two dimples. But the roundedness is there, and how you were describing things this morning was very graceful in that way. And, like I say, Leo gives the flat hips, and with Libra, it rounds out more. And I tend to see that. It's also true of you, even though you're very slender. And you have somehow, okay. Yes, Scorpio, and what degree of Scorpio is it? 14 degrees. Okay, it's in the Pisces part. Is there anything in Virgo at all? No, just... Okay. Are we hearing them on this? I wonder. We have to speak up just for sure. The seventh ray, you see. When they look like they take ballet positions with their feet, like that. This is the sign of the seventh ray. Cancer people who are modest might be standing a little more like that. Okay, now everybody smile. I just want. No, you won't smile? Okay.
I feel like we're going to have a picture taken.
Yeah, you do. No Virgo at all, huh? No. Yeah, because of the shoulders, how they square. Yeah. Well, I think that's what I can see. Gloria seems to have a bit more of that, the Libra thing there. Yeah, very good. Okay, thank you. Who are you looking at? Okay. Unless I know where your ruling planets are, I feel a little handicapped. They are really significant.
Scorpio. It seems that some of the signs have more things we can find in our faces. And Scorpio, Taurus, have you noticed we've talked a lot about. Some of the Leo is very strong, and this is all the fixed signs. Okay, dark hair usually, widow's peak, and we had another possibility with widow's peak, and that had to do with Virgo. Like Taurus, shorter and broader forehead, bushy eyebrows, powerful eyebrows. Eyebrows that join at the center. Do you remember we had another sign that had that? Eyebrows joining in the center?
Aries.
Okay. Taurus also had eyebrows. Deep set eyes.
That's one of the big things.
Right.
things
Eyes
with Scorpio.
oriental or folded over. Do we have a sense of what that's like? You know, it took me a while to figure that out. Upper eyelid large. You've sometimes seen where you see so much of the eyelid, and we as women would love to have that to put on makeup, you know, that large eyelid covering much of the eyeball.
Right.
Now there's an intense gaze, like an X-ray vision. There's a real intensity in the eyes. Eagle-like nose, aquiline. Often a powerful nose. Heavy beard in men. No, not quite.
When
That's why I
the
had to
beard
put
is
that.
heavy in women, it's really Scorpio.
Yeah. Body hair pronounced, dark. Whitish blue color to the skin, rarely ruddy. Long spider arms. Pronounced voice, often deep. And an Adam's apple that's exposed. And a dimple in the chin, like a cleft or a dimple.
Yep, yep.
So,
Don't forget these lines. Or maybe you said that.
no, they're not on the sheet there.
Oh, they should
but
be.
there's lines here too, guys.
The craggy.
Yeah, the craggy lines. Intense gaze. The chin has a Scorpio chin. You see, oh, that's the wrong thing. You see the dimple here in the chin? And look at the gaze. If that's not intense. Of course, later on, you know, you got all the folds around the eyes. Again, you got all the folds over the eyes there. Is that what you mean by oriental eyes?
Well, it's not entirely
entirely.
pronounced there, but sometimes you really see it. The eyes look veiled.
Yes.
It's almost as if the lid comes half down over the eyes. It's the oriental look.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Now that is the eyes that has a large lid over the eyeball, you know?
Exactly.
There.
Exactly.
See, the large lid over the eyeball.
And
Flat under the eyes here. Do we see how flat it is under the eyes?
that's particularly Pisces.
And there's like a shadow over the eyes here. He too had a dimple in the chin.
He was a Leo ascendant Scorpio sun.
Yeah. Moon
What is it?
Capricorn.
Yeah.
Well, not a very nice guy.
No. Third ray manipulator.
Okay, he's been around already before, but here we are again. We have Sun Scorpio. What do we see? There's this. Is that the Scorpio chin? Well,
It's deep set. The eyes are deep set.
the eyes mostly.
That's the main thing there.
Bushy brows, deep set eyes, pronounced chin.
And that's what I mean by the tension in
Yeah.
the 6-ray hands over there.
Now, this is archetypal Scorpio. When you look at that, you have prominent nose. There's a flattening of the nose.
Because
Now,
the man is an Aries.
I was just going to say.
That's
do
what
we
we mean.
remember? Do you remember that?
Rick, not Rick.
It's Rickman.
Yeah, Alan Hickman.
It's Rickman.
Oh, it's Rickman. Okay, so I.
Big deal, but
Okay, thank you. Oriental eyes. You see how the eyes are covered a lot there.
That's it.
And of course, the deep set. And that gaze. It's the gaze and the intensity in the face that really gets to you here. And you know, he usually plays a bad guy. There's the odd movie I've seen where he's okay, not a bad guy. We talked a little bit about Katharine Hepburn. This is the picture really that shows us that Scorpio look. Forehead in Scorpio doesn't have to be large, and hers is not.
Yes, this is the typical thing here.
Yeah.
because of the widow's peak, and it doesn't rise up high.
Is Taurus in her moon and in her sun, is that what made her such a strong woman? I mean, she was.
Very magnetic, very magnetic.
Rebellious and ahead of her time in
Yeah.
terms of independence.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to look up at her whole horoscope. That really, you should study it so carefully. Right now, we're just giving the once-over.
Okay, so here we have Charles Bronson, and he has Scorpio ascendant. And again, we look at the eyes. They're very deep set.
I don't know who that one is.
We have Cote de Pablo, for those who watch NCIS. Look at the widow's peak. Look at that gaze.
She has a great.
That's a very, very good picture to show you
And really, a widow's
Scorpio.
peak, what did
Yeah.
you say? It's amazing.
Ryan Gosling, he's a Scorpio ascendant. Again, we pulled out here the fact that his eyes are very deep set. I wanted to show the fleshy lobes here and here, and that can be Taurus as well.
And here's the hint of a,
The cleft there in the chin, prominent nose, short, broad forehead. He has a short, broad forehead. She has a short, fairly broad forehead, and his is not that broad, but it's short.
and what about this widow's peak here?
From my angle, I can't see it, but
And
okay.
look at the eyebrows angle. What does that tell you about the ray? Exactly. See, going up this way.
And we talked about with Aries, how that look of consternation right there, you know, how you can see the lines that have formed. Okay. Sun Scorpio for Martin Luther. None of these are real photographs, so again, we have to just assume that they're right on. The main thing that I saw was the dimple in the chin. And even this is an exaggerated hole in the chin.
And there's something more. We use the word porcine.
Porcine.
He has it in Scorpio. The somewhat pig look, yes.
Yeah.
He has that. I don't know what decanate that may be. Maybe the third. Have to check it out.
Dostoevsky, he has the eyebrows and the oriental eyes. See how they cover most of the lid? Deep set eyes. Look over here. And that intense, look at the intense stare. There too.
But the hairline reflects this.
Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Did you talk about these lines on either side of the face? That is it craggy? Is that how you describe those lines?
Yeah, sometimes
They're
there's
deep
just
set?
two lines
Yeah.
just down like that.
Yeah, you can see them forming here when he was younger and then really pronounced as he got older. And fleshy ears, you know, fleshy ears, ear lobes, really. There too, you can
And by the
really
way,
see that.
this does fit with Martin Luther. He's born in the Cancer part of Scorpio.
And therefore had the broad look.
And therefore, the porcine look comes in.
Okay, Tom Cruise, very Scorpio looking in this picture. We have the deep set eyes, we have the Scorpio chin, there's a sexiness to him, there's an Adam's apple, right? And then there's the eagle-like nose, I thought, there especially, you can see that.
Yeah, I've seen things where he has the moon in Leo.
Oh,
Does it say?
moon.
It just says
I don't know
moon.
why that didn't come out. There,
He
Leo,
has-
it's right over the Leo word.
He does have moon in Leo. You see the bump here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I've seen, you got his rising sign? I mean, it had
Right
one where
there.
there was,
Rising is
with a
Scorpio.
rising sign, because I've seen a lot of them that say they don't know when he was born.
Okay.
But maybe, okay, maybe
I
it is.
think this applies because this young man, or older man, has similar features to this man. And he was asked to double in for Tom Cruise when he was younger. I know that because it's my son.
Oh, is that so? Okay. Is that so? Okay.
And he, I couldn't find, I don't have good pictures of him, you know, but he had similar, he's got a Taurus moon, so he's got the fleshy lobes and the Scorpio lobes. He's got the deep-set eyes. He's got the short forehead. He's a double Scorpio, as you can see. He doesn't have the cleft in the chin, but he's got a Scorpio chin. He has those lines right there. You see those deep-set lines on either side of his mouth. My son was on the Canadian national gymnastic team, and when he was younger, they asked him to sub for him in some movies, but he's quite modest and humble, and he just didn't want to change his life. 7th-rate personality, you know, cautious. So he refused, but they did ask him to sub for him.
With, is this Tom Cruise again?
Yes.
See, he's a Cancerian. His moon is in
Sun
Leo.
Cancer.
His moon is in Leo. Therefore, the moon is very powerful. Therefore, this is pronounced. And do you think he has any 6th-ray, Tom Cruise?
He's a
Like
follower.
maybe
in
a
many
6th-ray
ways.
soul or something, you know? He's a total fanatic when it comes to Scientology and things of that nature. He's
Okay.
a,
So
all playing the
Adam's
parts
apple?
we come from behind.
I think this might be it. Yeah.
The glint in the eye. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to find out Tom Cruise ascendant because, you know, other things I've never been able to find it. That is so intense.
Yep.
And the angle of the brow.
Tom Cruise declinate. It is in the Scorpio declinate. For 11 degrees. Scorpio declinate. Lately he's been playing assassins.
Getting out his anger.
Okay, so that's it, guys. Will you Scorpio people come to the front?
You just winked. Moon and Libra. Yeah, these are the scary people. I know you're up. Sidereal may not show, but you do have this. You do have this.
Well, you decide. We'll let the contest or the audience decide.
She's what are you saying? Sidereal Scorpio. You're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Libra Gemini, but okay, all right. But you have the hips for Libra, you do, and you have the height for Gemini. Well, let's see. Let's see. Someone with Scorpio rising and the moon in Scorpio. Did someone say ooh?
Not in that way.
Okay, yeah, and you know this is interesting because the space between here and here is not that great, but you would expect that it might be, except you're Capricorn, and that takes the nose right down. So, and remember what we said about the chin. The two of the strong chin signs are Scorpio and Capricorn, and she's got both of them, right? And your Mars is in Virgo in what declinate?
First.
Okay, so that's not particularly going to work on that particular. Earlobes, passable, yes. Okay, do you care to expose your forehead? Okay, so Scorpio will do and Capricorn will do, right? We don't see that usual Sagittarius Gemini thing. It's much more focused. Okay, we did with Joan showing that the Scorpio was strong again in the chin, and she's a Virgo, but her ruling planet is in Scorpio. Is that correct? Yes. With Irv, he's got the eyelids for it. Irv is an Aquarius, however, with Scorpio rising. Scorpio rising, isn't it so? Yeah, yeah. Irv keeps on trying to tell me he's not as nice as he looks. but he has over his eye, that's what I mean. Joseph Goebbels had the same thing in others, but you see what I mean? It's like shades. They come down over the eyes. It's not oriental, but you see the roundedness of the eyeball as the lid comes down halfway. He's got that strongly. The first name again? Carol.
Before you go there, could you tell me where would you associate my bum on the nose?
Because it happens also with Capricorn, right?
Thank you.
Yes, but don't forget, how many things do you have in Leo?
I have my rulers conjunct in Leo, Saturn conjunct Pluto.
Saturn and Pluto from Scorpio conjunct in Leo, hence bump.
And Capricorn.
Okay, okay. Okay, we'll look for the.
So it comes
She
also
likes
from
the Capricorn bump. Yeah, it's fine. Capricorn bump is okay. Okay. Sometimes, Carol, I think. See, it's this Gemini, the blinking eyes, and Scorpio rising. Was that it? And where's your Mars? Where's your thing I handed you? Okay. Okay, you've got the lids. You've got the eyelids. You're very cheerful, you Scorpion. You know, they say that Scorpios smile more, and I want to know why. Anyway, James Davis says it's the most smiling sign, and he's very good at this. And he also says that Capricorn is the least smiling sign. Thanks, Carol. Okay, she's got Mars in Aries, which is the ruler of her ascendant. Okay. So, and she's got deep-set eyes for the Scorpio. She has that, even though they're blinking quite a bit. Yeah, she has that. And the chin is sticking out in this way. But there's something in the eyes that of many Scorpio people where they look a little dangerous, you know, like something's in there. I think you have a bit of that. I know you're a very pleasant, nice person. Nevertheless, Neptune rising. So there's a little bit of the water there. But Mars is there too, for sure. And the coloring is Martian. Yeah. There's something very earnest and sincere and very penetrating here going on. Yes. So you have a little bit of the tinted eyebrows. Now, I just don't know what people do with their eyebrows these days. But
No, these are the same ones I originally had, but now I lost half of them, so I'll just keep the same line.
okay. That I believe in restitution, you know. So the tinted eyebrows come in under Scorpio. Yes, absolutely. Oh, I've got another son here. I want to demonstrate with him. Okay, but as I say, you have other factors, and we talked about that. And what were they? Your Gemini and
No, I'm Aquarius and
Aquarius. And we looked at the particular part of Aquarius. By the way, do you do something to your hair, or does it?
It's not naturally this color.
Okay, well, it should be.
That's no problem.
Okay, we have to look at the decade of Aquarius. I think we'll find that. But I can't stop right now. Well, David, yeah, he's got the Scorpio look. He's got the third ray look, the Scorpio look.
And my eyebrows are naturally very, very bushy.
Oh, is it so? So you tend to them, or what do you do?
Yeah.
Eyebrow cuts, not hair cuts.
Yeah, well, he,
Yeah, once a week.
and really, okay. Well, you just should be like Edward Teller. He didn't tend to them. Remember Edward Teller? That's amazing, isn't it? He looks like he belongs in a Tolkien movie. David's got the chin that's sticking way out there, so it's a combination of Capricorn and Scorpio, both, I think. And, well, I don't know if David and I agree about his rays, but it's most important that he say what they are. But I think he's got a little bit of the sixth ray. This is my impression. Just he stays on topic, let's say that. Isn't it a nice day? Have you heard about Vulcan today? What's your name? What about Vulcan? Okay. Okay, now here with Robin, she should have come up earlier because she has a double Aries. So we see some of the pronounced thing going on here, and the shape of the head. Go to the. Oh yes, because she's Scorpio rising. She's got the widow's peak. And where's your Mars?
Taurus.
Aha. So that is why the neck is the way it is, because the ruling planet of both Aries and Scorpio is in Taurus, which is going to make the neck less long, not necessarily short, but it's going to make it more pronounced. You do have here again, the tinted eyebrows are present. And how do you describe yourself? What kind of costume lady? Evil. The evil costume lady? Okay, all right. Because she's so creative, she does creative things with costumes and all that kind of thing. But identifying with, so the widow's peak, is part of it. Annabelle has definitely really Scorpio eyebrows. Really tinted Scorpio eyebrows, yeah, for sure. And let's see, and the sun was in Libra, and the moon in Leo. Yeah, you get that. You definitely get that. There's something around the eyes, kind of, like it's a bit like the Katharine Hepburn thing around the eyes. So the eyes become magnetic, So you have that. You have that. But there's a certain look that you don't just mess with that, you know. You don't, you're cautious. So oh, you can smile if you like. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. Yeah. She really looks Libran to me. Really looks Libran. But she has her own system of astrology, and she does it in a different way.
My current house, where my sun is Scorpio, sun, moon, Scorpio, in my 10th house, which is different from the way you do houses, but
Yeah.
it's where your, what, 7th house would be, I guess, is my.
Yeah, it's a totally different system.
I know, it's Capricorn, midheaven, Libra on my 10th house.
Okay.
But sun, moon, and Scorpio.
Okay, that's sidereal. And I don't think that transfers. I don't think that transfers to physiognomy. But I think there's something else tropically that is Scorpio in your chart, and that may.
I do have sun, moon, Jupiter in Scorpio.
In the tropical chart?
And Venus and something. I had a lot of Scorpio.
Okay, so, okay.
But Libra, sun in my birth chart, and
Okay.
Leo's house, tropically with Placidus and all that.
Okay, and she has some third ray also. Okay,
Right, but yeah.
for sure. So we can't get into all of it, but you know, do you see the Scorpio? I don't know.
I actually,
Yes, in tropical. Is it tropical? Yeah.
and I plucked my widow's peak. I don't want to look like the monsters.
Okay,
I do have a widow's peak, and
Okay.
I pluck it out because I don't want to look like the monsters.
oh, okay. That, oh, okay.
I do.
Okay. Well, then that would have been the identifier, for sure. For sure. Okay. Here, with Giselle, you see around the eyes a certain, she can look through you. There's some kind of sincerity that's really there, but you also see the modifying Libra quality, because it's rising, and you see the Sagittarius quality because her Venus is in Sagittarius. So this is found at this point. And I'm not sure about your Scorpio, what degree it is. I should have looked. 14 degrees, so it's Pisces. Yes. And maybe there is no Virgo, but there's something very nice around the eyes. I don't know whether you have the widow's peak or not. Not so much, but no, not so much. But there's a refinement that comes because of the Libra. Don't you think so? And your sun is in Scorpio. And your rising sign is perhaps Pisces. Yeah, and your moon is perhaps Aries.
Is Aries. I thought
Yes.
it was double Aries, but
Yeah, well, you have the coloring for it, for
Venus
sure.
and Virgo.
What in Virgo?
Venus and Virgo.
Venus and Virgo, okay. And I don't know about Libra or so. Does anybody see any Scorpio here? Or not? Nicholas? Scorpio? Maybe a little bit with the nose, perhaps? I see a lot going on. Yeah, maybe. Yes, maybe so. Yes, maybe so. And what about the line of the eye? Is that
Yes.
that is natural for you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I never know. Okay. Stacy is always looking at me with that concerned look. I wonder, you know, just how near I am. Okay. But do you have any Libra? You do have that pronounced vein right in the forehead. Pronounced vein. Does she? Thank you. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, she has a very strong Venus and Neptune conjunction in early Libra, absolutely. And her Mars is in Gemini, but it's in the Aquarius part of it. So those things are modifiers, I think. I'm not seeing so much Scorpio, except sometimes in the eyes I see it.
Oh.
Yes, I do. I do see
A
that.
little jaw, maybe.
A little jaw?
I mean, no, the jaw, and maybe the chin.
Uh-huh.
The rest of
Not so much. It
dark
seems
hair,
pretty well nice,
wide body, no.
evened out. You know, it's evened out. Okay.
By the way, I also have curly hair, but like flat, but all under it is really curly.
Okay, so you're modifying things. Okay, very good. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We keep going. Keep moving. No. I just want to see how you react.
Like a Scorpio.
Yes, I tell you.
Michael,
Okay.
Michael.
What is it? Yeah, I will use them later for Aquarius. Okay, let's go. Your nose carries some of it. Your nose carries some Scorpio. I think so. Yeah. Some sharp. Your eyes are deep set. This is very, This is why.
Okay, next up is Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
So these are some of the characteristics of Sagittarius. A tall forehead, nose straight or turned up at the tip, chin receding. That's a very significant sign. Chin receding. Sometimes a strong overbite of front teeth. Sometimes a long face. Eyes sometimes small and alert with good eyesight. Eyes sometimes have a faraway look depending upon the rays. Sometimes there's the frontal baldness. Lighter natural color hair, and sometimes hair is in a casual ponytail. Think about now what animal we're leading up to, the horse. Casual, loose look, swinging arms, informal positions. Casual dress, sometimes in exercise outfits with a backpack. Tends towards height. Carries weight around hips and thighs. Large, strong thighs, horse-like frame. Feet are often moving, and when walking, feet can point out.
That's really important. Cancer people walking, feet point in. Sagittarius, they point out.
Long strides when walking, sometimes prances, horse-like, and walking up on toes. Rushes ahead in action and speech with much talk. So those are some of the basic characteristics. Now we'll take a look at some. So Winston Churchill, what do we see here? Well, he has a tall forehead, frontal baldness, chin receding. Let's see.
And I'll tell you why. Because this man has Virgo rising in the Taurus part of Virgo, which sticks the chin out like this, and his Mercury is in Scorpio, which does the same. That's why he looks like the bulldog look. Later, he became known for the bulldog, tenacious look, and that modified his Sagittarius.
Nose, slightly straight, nose straight and slightly turned up. Where can we kind of see that?
Yeah, there's that.
And certainly a casual, loose look and informal positions that he's in.
Well, you see this with you see the first ray coming through the child, don't you? I mean, look at the look, you know. And here's the bulldog look. This is absolute tenacity.
But if you think of Beethoven, he had that same.
He has the same thing?
Yeah, but he's had.
Yeah, but he has Taurus rising. That's, see, the same thing. It's Taurus Scorpio stuff. Yeah. Okay.
So here we have Jane Fonda, of course, and here we see when she was young, you can really see that high forehead. She has the straight nose. Certainly she's tall, has a strong body. She's known for her exercise, and so she's even in her exercise outfit. She has a casual style, and this hairstyle, I picked this picture out because this is almost like the ponytail. It's a version of like a ponytail kind of a look.
This is what I call the dropping Sagittarian jaw. That's what I mean by the drop jaw. Maybe even Francis has it to a certain degree.
You know, I came across some pictures of her on the internet. I came across some pictures of her on the internet that showed her well, she was very young before she had her teeth fixed, and she had a horsey mouth. They actually protruded her teeth. You know, they really
It happens
came
all the
forward.
time with Sagittarius. It's the biggest overbite there is.
Yeah.
Second to Gemini.
Okay, next one, Charles Lindbergh. Well, he has kind of a long face, we can see here. Straight nose and eye, a straight nose. His eyes are kind of small, but look at that faraway look that he has in them. And casual appearance and the tousled hair.
That's for Aquarius. The hair is for Aquarius. And I don't know, what else gives the dimple of the chin. It's sometimes called the Teutonic chin. But he was a tall man, and he had that faraway look. He crossed the Atlantic for the first time solo flight. It was a typical Sagittarian thing. Oh, don't follow this man.
So here we have General George Custer. So he does have a straight nose, the tall forehead. The chin is receding.
It recedes.
He's kind of got a faraway look to his eyes.
He's thinking of the little bighorn.
And his poses, this is kind of a casual pose, and
He's cocky. He's just kind of full of his confidence. This is the very thing that got him killed. Fourth ray plus that cockiness, Yeah. Aho.
Okay, so Bruce Lee. Well, look at the long face and the strong horse-like frame. Look in the eyes. He has kind of small eyes, but they're small and alert. And there he is, very casual in exercise or whatever clothes, but there are no shirts. So he's known as this bodybuilder.
But Heidi, can you look him up quickly, because this guy's got loads of Scorpio.
Oh, he's got a Scorpio.
He's got the moon.
Yeah,
the
and
moon
more
in
and
Scorpio.
more
Yeah.
Scorpio. So I just, so this is what I mean. Of course, he is Oriental, but this is what I mean by the Oriental look around the eyes, especially the veiled lid. And oftentimes you see people in the white group that also have that very same thing. And, he's got very much of a Scorpio look in his face. He's got so much Scorpio. But at the same, where's his Jupiter?
He's got, hang on,
But in terms of the sheer athletics of things,
he's got Mercury, Moon in Scorpio, and he's got Jupiter in Taurus.
okay, so that is showing as well, around the eyebrows, I would say.
Oh, he's got Mars in Scorpio. and
Mars in
Venus
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
And Venus in Scorpio. I knew it was a whole stellium of
gosh,
Scorpio.
so he's
So you see a
really
mixture
full of-
here, yes.
He also had that death cry of the eagle.
Oh, what was that?
Well, it's whenever it fought. Do you remember that sound he made? It's like the diving eagle.
Oh, he did that? Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, there's a little story. I was walking with members of my family, and we were just walking along in Seattle, and my son-in-law is into martial arts. He's a Sagittarius rising with Scorpio moon. And we just wandering, and we wandered into the cemetery, and the next thing we know, we're looking at Bruce Lee's grave. It was amazing. I mean, we didn't even know we were going there. But it was just, he was kind of leading us, and he is the guy who was in the martial arts, and he didn't know either. And we just kind of ended up at Bruce Lee's grave.
Okay, so he is our last Scorpion.
Well, yes.
Sagittarius.
Sagittarian.
With a lot of Scorpio.
Okay.
So we'll take a look now at Scorpio Sun.
Sagittarius.
I'm so sorry. I
Sagittarius
emphasized a whole lot of
sun
Scorpio last
and,
time.
Rising
Got the
sign.
deep set eyes,
Come
got
up
the
here,
deep
we'll
set
take
eyes.
a look at you.
I have it.
And
Okay. Come forward. Come forward. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice group of people. And anybody with a present or former overbite? Okay. Present or former overbite, anybody? Okay. The overbite, yeah. You had braces, yeah. Okay. Yeah, the overbite is the thing. In your, actually you have the twinkle in your eye. This is one of the things, it's a sign of optimism, Sagittarius is. That's where Churchill excelled. He was able to give that vision which kept his country together. You have Sagittarius sun.
Moon.
Okay, all righty. Okay, but sun and moon, and what is ascending? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, and what part of Leo? All right, thank you. Okay. It's the, hey, it's the Sagittarius part of Leo. We have, well, there's modifications here. There's modifications. Moon in Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius, good Lord. You're in the Leo part of Sagittarius, at least that, for sure. All right. Well, definitely you have the look. And, okay, let's, the broad hips. Broad hips, Eva? Broad hips, please. Yes, very good. You got that. Francis, I don't know. Livy, I don't know, but he's got Leo, you know, so he's allowed to have. Yes, he has
And I've
that too.
started to lose my hair a little bit.
Yes.
Here in the front a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, you definitely have the dome, that's for sure. The Leo and Sagittarius quality. You have the jaw. You have a good jaw for Sagittarius, definitely. Yes. It has that, you know, it reminds me a little bit of Brad Pitt. I don't care what sex, whatever it is, you know. You just have to look at it. Yeah, you do. You have that. And the smile, there's no Gemini, no? There's no Gemini? No. Okay. And or Aquarius or nothing like that?
No.
Okay. We have to.
Neptune's in the Aquarius decan of Libra.
Okay. And where is your Jupiter?
Taurus.
Aha. Okay. Well, that we see around the eyes, and we see that in the eyebrows, I think, which are darker. We see that. And what part of Taurus is it in?
Capricorn decan.
Okay, and that's why there's not so much space between here and here. Capricorns typically don't have the big space between the bottom of the nose and the top of the lip, whereas Virgos do. So maybe that's the modification. Yes. Well, I don't know, you're just cheerful, you know, what can I say? Uplifting, you know. Do you see any Sagittarius here? Except for this small alert eyes. Okay. With the twinkle and optimism and all that kind of thing. Yes, we could definitely have that. Definitely. Yep. Oh, she winks. That's Libra moon just winked. Libra moon winked. Yes. The most pronounced thing for you is the jaw, and the nose has a slightly Taurian quality right here at the very tip, and that's going to be your ruler, I think. Okay. You sometimes see this interesting Taurus nose, where it starts to come down to here. Brennan, will you come here for a second? You've got one. Come on, Dare. Both of my sons, come on, both come together. Come on. It's a terrible thing to ask them to do, you know. Terrible thing.
The robin's calling.
Yeah. And they look at these guys and they say, whatever happened to me? All right.
How'd you do that?
How'd I do that? Well, you know, one of their grandfathers was 6'6". It helps. So Brennan has that on the tip of his nose, slightly. You see the way it comes down, but then it turns slightly forward. They both have Aquarius rising, only they have different moon positions. So the moon in Brennan's case is Pisces, the moon in Matthew's case is Cancer. But they both have Taurus, and you see the broadening of the nose here in Matthew's case, and they're in different decanates, actually. But I don't want to get too complicated about it. Both, you see the wavy hair in the case of both for Taurus, right? In Matthew, this is hell for him, I'm sure. But anyway, as Matthew has a lot of, Matthew has, Heidi, okay. Would you like to come up here? No. Matthew had a lot of Gemini in his chart, so the teeth were out there more powerful before the braces, so he has that. So it's both Aquarius. Aquarius is difficult to identify, except that the hair tends to be, wait a second, guys. All right, let me just say. Right.
Was your ex-wife 7 feet tall?
No, but tall, definitely tall. So, okay, Stacia is a problem a little bit because, except she's a terrible optimist, you know, that much is going on. She's got a mixture of Leo and Sagittarius, and we see a lot of the Leo going on as well as fourth ray. We see, if you were to cover, don't move, if we were to cover this up, you see, and you just see the look of concern around the eyes. It's the pained look. It's the fourth ray, you know. You see that. Especially when she looks at me, she gets really pained, you know.
You need to sleep, she says.
I know, she keeps saying that. You really, this is very pronounced for you. It really is right. The jaw is Sagittarianly correct. It is a bit of the Brad Pitt jaw. You have a bit of the dropping chin, just like Jane Fonda did. And you, Jupiter and Mercury in Sag, yeah, plus the Sun, yeah, so you've got a lot. And you have a bit of the pointed ear, a little bit, but it's the Leo that gives the slightly greater earlobe, I think. Yes, and you have very alert eyes, they want to wink by themselves, you know. This is very good. Okay, all right, good, thank you. Yes, that it is. Now you see, no one will mind Capricorn. It's just a piece of cake. You have the high
So,
Jupiter, Scorpio.
Capricorn up next.
This is Scorpio. Yeah, absolutely.
So, characteristics like skull-like head structure and thin hair, eyes relatively close together, eyes beady, small pupils, flat look to the eyes, pronounced thin, bony nose. The nose joins the forehead without a break or indentation. This is another one of these.
Like Libra.
Like Libra, okay.
Saturn signs, yeah.
Nose points downward and sometimes at a steep angle. A cleft in the end of the nose. Small space between the base of the nose and the upper lip. Downturned mouth and unsmiling. Thin lips and controlled goat lips, which Michael will explain in a minute.
It's like
and
a hair
weak
lip.
teeth.
It sometimes comes up. Hair lip, goat lip, yeah.
Oh, like hair lip.
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
But like that, yeah.
Okay.
And weak teeth.
Okay.
Smile.
Strong chin, often protruding. Knotted hands and pronounced knuckles and bowed legs.
Well, I'm telling you.
I'm going to show you some pictures, but then y'all come. Okay. And there was horns. I took the horns thing off.
Moses, he was as much Aries as Capricorn.
Okay. Okay, here's our first example, Sir Isaac Newton. And here, let me see here. He has a very interesting nose.
Yeah. Very.
Bony, thin, and then let me try to find the best one that shows how, it goes downward. So that's.
It means they're into matter. You know, when your nose goes down, you're into matter. When your nose goes up, you're the optimist.
Mm-hmm. And he has a small space between the nose and the lips. And he has a strong protruding chin. There.
Someone look up Newton quickly. We got to find his decanate. I think
And
it's
look at
Taurus.
that. Look at that. What? So
Well,
that's
he's got
significant.
Cancer moon.
So that
got
would
a
be
Cancer
for the
moon.
little thing here.
And look, he looks like Franz Liszt. He looks androgynous. He's got Libra rising when he's a young man. What? The bowed lips, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See that? How
Here
that
he
goes?
looks like he has indigestion, but okay, he got older.
Okay. What were you looking for?
I'm looking for his, I think is he born in the Taurus decanate? Newton of Capricorn? I just want to check that. He does have the Cancer moon. He was a very touchy guy, very sensitive, very, he wanted all the credit for whatever he did, and if somebody else tried to claim the credit, like Leibniz for the calculus, he was not happy about it.
Okay.
Yes, in this particular rendering of him, obviously we don't have any photographs. Oh, yeah, they have to be, the photography in the 1600s was not developed.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go on, and Heidi is checking for something. Okay, so here's Tolkien, and now I thought he had kind of a skull-like head structure here. He definitely has thin hair. His eyes seemed close together. Well, here's a good
They're
example
smaller,
of it.
smaller. And
Smaller and
Capricorn does
close
that to the
together.
eyes, except in the Taurus decanate.
Mhm. And his nose points downward.
He is. He's got Leo rising.
Yeah. Even so, he has thin lips
Mhm.
and a strong chin.
Really, that you see the way the nose comes out and the chin comes out. That and if he had Gemini, I'm not sure he does. Yeah, that would really be accented, really. And here is his seventh ray look, if you will. You know, he's got to have seventh ray. I mean, he's a bit like what's her name, who writes the Harry Potter stories? Rowlands. She's got to have seventh ray, doesn't she? Got to have it. And if you can't write Lord of the Rings without the seventh ray, it's all magic, isn't it? And here he looks like it too, doesn't he? Who has Tolkien? Anybody? Have you found him? Just find him and we'll get it in retrospect. He's got Leo. He's got the bump on the nose. Okay.
Okay. So Marlene Dietrich, and she has a very interesting skull. The
That's why we love it.
skull-like head structure here, kind of prominent there. Her eyes are close together. The bony nose, and it points downward.
That's for sure. We won't find the same, this is very important. You don't find the same features in everybody. In other words, here's a whole list, but you won't find them equally accented in everybody. You just won't. So you just select the ones that are prominent.
And she seems to have a strong chin that shows up, you know, here.
Maybe somebody look her up.
Strong chin.
As I recall, we looked her up and she was also born in the Taurus decanate of Capricorn, and the nose broadens at the base. That is typical. What does it? Both have Taurus. Tolkien had Taurus and Isaac Newton had the Taurus decanate. Right. So we saw the dimple in the chin in that case for Isaac Newton.
Because of that.
And she has the Taurus decanate as well. And this look is incredible. I don't know if this is a photograph or a painting, but there's some first ray in there, you know. It's aloof. It's aloof. In Virgo, well, maybe Nicholas can find it quick. 15?
Yeah,
Capricorn.
but she's not Taurus decanate of Sun, she's Capricorn decanate.
Is she? Oh, because she's in early. Okay, she's in early. Okay. That would be Capricorn. The nose into the forehead. Yes, that's right. And of course,
And
this is true. This is the skull-like look. You know.
Yeah. Okay. And she's not bad on the eyes for Capricorn folks.
Right.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Nicolas Cage. Oops. And again, this skull-like head structure.
And the thinness of the nose, huh?
Yeah,
Right here.
I'm going to get to the nose. So the eyes are close together, seemingly. Then the nose. This is very interesting. The bony nose, and then it points downward.
What else does he have? Look him up quickly. Maybe we can find these people and we can get the added detail.
And then
Sag, I think. Some Sag stuff.
strong chin.
His nose goes into his forehead.
That's really important. That is one of those distinguishing features with Capricorn. The nose seems to keep going right up into the forehead. Mm-hmm. Okay. Taurus decanate? What's rising? Yeah, you got to have Sag. And that's modifying his chin. And where's Jupiter? Okay, and that will also, one of the things about Aries is the narrow space right up here. This gets narrow.
Right in here.
Yeah, right in there.
Okay, now coming up is the winner of the Best Nose Contest.
Aha. Oh.
So, Gerard Depardieu. the kind of bony nose up at the top part of it. See the bony part of it, but then this big cleft in the nose.
That is
Just an
exaggerated.
amazing
and,
nose.
yeah.
And it points down,
Definitely.
and he has kind of beady eyes close together.
Mhm. But he's got a glint. I mean, in other words, he's Sag rising, isn't he?
He has thin hair.
And where's his Jupiter? Capricorn also, isn't it? Okay.
And let me see, there's a small space here between the nose and the lips. He has kind of thin lips, and he has a strong chin.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm not happy that he doesn't have something in Taurus, or I mean the Taurus part of Capricorn. He does actually have stuff in the Taurus part, but nothing ruling. Did someone say that he just recently, for his whatever birthday, ordered a 50-course meal?
Yeah. He had a huge feast, and it was 50 courses.
50 courses,
prepared by, like,
yeah.
all the-
If you've seen him lately, he's expanding. Like Jupiter, I would just be perfect if it was Sagittarius rising with Jupiter and Taurus, but it was Sagittarius rising with Jupiter and Capricorn, very near the Taurus part. Yeah.
Okay, and so he's our final one for Capricorn. So do the Capricorn suns and rising folks want to come up?
Okay. 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 I'm sorry? Okay. When do they take a break? Do we have to give them a break?
Right after this, yeah.
When, after this or
Well,
just
wait,
right
let's
after
see.
Capricorn?
Yeah.
We could maybe use a little one.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. No, no. You should have been here for Scorpio. You would have been a very good one. Sergei has a lot of Scorpio, as you can see. But he asked the question, should I be here because my sun has progressed, or whatever, has progressed into Capricorn? And the answer is no. That's not structural. Unless, maybe modify a little bit. It's not structural. It's not what you were born with, okay? Well, let's see. Your Sag sun. Your Sag sun, and where's your Saturn? It's somewhere. I know it is. Cancer. Okay. So I'm just looking, because if you see here, we have several pronounced chins here. Okay. Peter's he's in the almost pronounced chin area. Elena is super chin. She has that because she has strong Scorpio as well. But you can see this with Dorothy very strongly. The strong chin. And you also have, yes, you do. And Aries, where's Aries? Did you say? What do you have? What's your
Ascendant ruler,
okay, so your ascendant is?
Capricorn,
Okay, and your Saturn is where? Because you always look for the ruling planet.
in Aries,
Okay, well, you have the concentration around the eyes for sure.
Virgo decanate.
And the Virgo decanate, yes, okay, you're good at that. David, it's obvious, it's clear. Here we see the example of it's Capricorn rising, right? What degree?
15.
15, so therefore,
Taurus.
the Taurus decanate of Capricorn rising, and this you see in the fuller area here, right?
Oh, I was wrong, mine's Taurus decanate.
Yours is for Taurus decanate?
12 degrees.
Okay, so it's a Capricorn rising in how many degrees?
12.
12. It is also the Taurus decanate, yes. But boy, you do have a lot of concentration right here, don't you?
I have bony knees, bad feet.
Okay, well, the knees are a big issue about Capricorn. They are. People who have that, they have a lot of trouble with that, and sometimes the knee is accented in its size. That's for sure. And I don't know, does anybody here have a tendency to bowing of the legs? You have yeah, you do. You can do that. Yeah, you have that. Yeah, you have that. You sometimes see that. Yeah. That,
It's not
Mhm.
Okay, that's.
You have the Taurus decanate, and with Elena, the Taurus decanate in Capricorn shows up, in her case, in her eyes. And also because Leo is accented, so it makes everything bigger, you know. The big eyes come in with Leo and with Taurus, particularly. Okay. And your decanate is early. Here you see in the nose, it's slightly, it points down just a little bit, and it's sharp. It has a, what do you have in Virgo? Anything? You have that nice bowing in the mouth here, but this is probably the Libra moon. Okay. And your Saturn is in Cancer, and it takes away, your chin is not sticking out, is what I'm saying. It's modified by the fact that we have Saturn in Cancer and a lot of Sagittarius. And your Jupiter is where? I'm so sorry. I forgot myself, you know, where it is. Someone look up quickly Livy's Jupiter. Does anybody have it? You don't have to look it up. Where's Heidi? Oh, I want to get Livy's Jupiter. Okay, yes. Yeah. Well, here we have the bony structure in the nose. That's for sure. And you're the sun in Capricorn, and you are, how many, your birth date?
5 January, 14 degrees.
14 degrees. So it's in the Taurus, and you see it in the eyebrows, and there's some fullness in the eyes as well. He has Taurus rising and the Taurus decanate. Okay, and let's see, do you have anything in Gemini or Sagittarius, do you remember?
Saturn and Sagittarius.
Saturn and Sagittarius. Okay, important. So he's
Just on the fringe.
but is it in Sagittarius?
Just 1 minute.
That's 1 minute of arc, good enough for me. 1 minute of arc in Sagittarius, the chin is not pronounced. Same thing with Tuya. She has Saturn in, she is a Capricorn, but Saturn in Sagittarius, and it takes the chin back a little bit. Unlike David, Dorothy, and even Iris. Oh, yes, even Iris. Iris has really a good bony nose here, you know. This is that's good for Capricorn, which she has. Mm-hmm. Well, she does, but yeah. Do you have anything Libra? I mean, you know, there's a couple of little. Oh, good. I'm always happy when something's confirmed, you know. But see, look for the ruling planet, because this is what is giving the difference, and that's why she has such a Libran look, you know. The placement of the ruling planet accentuates the sign. Yes. Okay. Yes.
She also, to me, has a strong Gemini look because her sun's at 29 degrees Taurus.
Almost into it. Could be. But that 29 Taurus, she shines, you know, and that's the Taurus look right on the Pleiades, like the Pleiades shine. She has that. But she has the Capricorn decanate of Taurus accentuated. So she's got Capricorn decanate, and there may be, you know, as you say, some Gemini look, but there's a certain tranquility there. Higher type of 4th ray and 7th ray involved. Okay. Dorothy, you're the eternal skeptic. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So the sun is in Aries, or where's the sun? Gemini, okay. And where's Mercury?
Same decanate, last one.
Okay, so that's the Aquarius part. And blinking eyes. Did you see it? Did you see that? Okay, that's the sun in Gemini, okay? That's blinking. And what is Aries? What is Aries? Anything, did you say? Did I mishear you?
Moon, Jupiter, and Saturn.
Okay, Saturn in Aries with Capricorn rising, and notice the concentration right around this area of the eyes. See, this business is, she's showing the Aries because her Saturn is in Aries, ruler of the rising sign. So it's emphasizing this ajna area right there. Okay, well with you,
4 of us have a cleft.
yes, do we have, yes, we have a line in the nose. Yes, kind of, yes.
I have a scar.
Okay, was that a threat?
No.
Veiled.
Literally a piece of it came out when I was 10.
Oh, okay.
Cut
Cut.
out.
Okay. By the way, he has some of the oriental eyelid over here, right? The puffiness over the eyes. He has got a combination both of Capricorn and Scorpio, right? Capricorn and Scorpio. He gives you that inscrutable look. I think he's got a lot of 5th ray and 3rd ray for sure. Yes, but he has that veiled smile. With you, you have veiled lids. You do have, definitely. But no Scorpio. It's coming, I suppose, from the Capricorn part, right? And what's in Gemini?
Sun Uranus.
Sun Uranus, and you're blinking. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Okay, you are. Okay, and so the cleft in the nose, who has it? Who has the cleft? All of you?
I don't know. Maybe it's the shadow.
Not me.
No, I'm sorry. Well, well, it's not Gerard Depardieu. What can I say? Okay, but do look for that, because you know what I found about that cleft? You don't have to be a Cancer. You don't have to be a Capricorn. But if you're born in a water sign, you're going to have the Cancer decanate, accented. If you're born in an earth sign, you're going to have the Capricorn decanate, accented. I have a friend who has a pronounced cleft. He is a, let's see if I get this right. He's a Gemini. Yes, he's a Gemini, but his Mercury is in Cancer, and there it is. See what I mean? So the ruling planet can also give it to you, as well as the decanate itself. Now, you've been modified by Sagittarius, definitely. Yes. Yeah. Poor Eric, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. Coming all the way from Holland, right? From the Netherlands, all the way from the Netherlands, right? Okay. Arrived here and was put to work immediately by Tuya. I tell you, you never know what you're getting into. And by the way, a bit of an overbite, right? A little bit of... Saturn in Sagittarius, overbite, ruler of the Capricorn, okay? That's how subtle it gets. You just can't say, this is the sign. If you don't have the ruling planets, I see the Libra. See? Don't you see the Libra? Yeah, you definitely do. And the slight broadening of the nose out here for the Taurus part. What are the Devas doing? They're building according to certain laws. Those laws are of an astrological origin. One day we're going to have a science of astrogenetics. You know we're going to have it. And then we're going to find out why the symbol looks the way it does and what it indicates on the inside. Ellen, I can just never get enough of looking at your face. Was that a compliment? Come on.
Which sign was the rolling eyes?
The rolling eye? Oh, the rolling eyes. This is Taurus under the influence of Gemini. Okay. Yeah. And your nose does point slightly downward, but it's modified by Sagittarius. You see, that's you are a modification of Sagittarius and Capricorn together.
Jupiter in Virgo and Venus in the Virgo decanate.
Okay, so that's very important, and that makes things a little more compact than they otherwise might be. And the Libra part, you know, you're fine. You're fine. I don't say that to everybody. All right, thank you, Capricorns, and don't smile, please. You see that ruling planet? You see how important the ruling planet is? You see what it does for Iris over here? How it gives her the Libra quality? You see what it does over here for Eric? How it gives him the Sagittarian quality? Absolutely. Yes, it really does. It really does. And I say, look, people are materialistic. They don't believe anything. They don't believe in astrology at all. David, give me a chance. Hey, guys. Okay, they don't believe. But if they can see that it's as plain as the nose on your face, so to speak, if they can actually see that the form alters with the time of birth and the place of birth, then they can decide for themselves whether there's anything to it. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? So if enough forms coincide with certain principles, and you can prove that this is happening even 70, 80% of the time, you've got something that's greater than chance. And if it's greater than chance, scientists are going to want to look at it. And then they will prove and confirm statistically that astrology has a bearing on life. And that's what we need. DK says, prove it statistically. That's what he said. So we'll get together these forms and features and prove it. That's what we have to do. The fifth ray approach.